Well, very childish and dishonest. And she's accused me of being a fraudster. What am I supposed to do? Say nothing? She is not facing up to the reality that under her leadership, the Conservative Party continues to die. So she's chosen to do what she's so well known for. She's lashed out in her usual aggressive, charmless manner.
Nigel Farage obliterates Kemi Badenoch over her audacious claim that Reform UK's membership ticker is a fraud. In classic Farage style, he didn't just refute the accusation. He turned it into a masterclass in political counterpunching. Badenoch's suggestion that the ticker was coded to tick up automatically backfired spectacularly, giving Farage the perfect opportunity to invite media outlets to verify the system themselves. By calling her accusations disgraceful and demanding an apology, Farage positioned himself as the honest, transparent leader standing against the flailing Tory establishment. This wasn't just a defense. It was a political knockout, and the 20,000 new members Reform gained in the fallout are proof of who won this round. Nigel Farage's Reform UK is rapidly cementing itself as a formidable force in British politics, boldly presenting itself as the true Conservative alternative to an increasingly embattled Tory party. Farage, a polarizing yet undeniably influential figure, thrives in moments of political friction, expertly using disputes to seize the narrative and rally support. Meanwhile, Kemi Badenoch, the Conservative leader, struggles to maintain traditional Tory support while combating the surging appeal of Reform UK, a task made more difficult by her recent misstep. The heart of this clash is Reform UK's remarkable membership surge and Badenoch's claim that the party's digital counter was a fabricated gimmick. Farage's decisive response, inviting media scrutiny to verify the system, flipped the script, painting Badenoch's accusations as reactionary and baseless. Far from damaging Reform UK, the row bolstered Farage's position, reinforcing his party's image as a transparent, authentic voice against a failing establishment. The timing couldn't have been better. Media coverage of the spat coincided with a stunning 20,000-member boost for Reform, proving Farage's ability to turn controversy into opportunity. For the Conservatives, this debacle underscores a growing crisis. Badenoch's claims risk alienating an already disillusioned base of Tory voters, many of whom feel the party has drifted away from core values like immigration control and economic conservatism. Reform UK's surpassing of the Conservative membership tally signals a significant realignment within the right-wing electorate, with Farage deftly capturing those seeking a more uncompromising approach to conservatism. Badenoch's misjudgment in engaging this public spat may invite criticism of her leadership, particularly her ability to handle political rivals. This episode also highlights broader trends in British politics. Reform UK's rise underscores a growing appetite for anti-establishment alternatives, as voters grow frustrated with mainstream parties. The Conservatives now face the dual challenge of appealing to moderates while stemming the flow of supporters to their right flank. Farage, ever the media tactician, ensures every conflict keeps Reform UK at the forefront of political debate, transforming every challenge into another step forward. If the Tories aren't careful, they could soon find themselves in Farage's rearview mirror. Now check this clip.
Many thousands of those are part of that big new surge that we've had. So yeah, the average age of our members is coming down substantially. Now, of course, they come from across the board. Some come from the Tory party, some come from the Labour Party. But here's the important thing. Most people that are joining Reform, putting their names forward to be candidates, have never been in politics at any point in their lives. They just see a country that is in economic decline, that is in societal decline. They see a country in which nothing works. They believe that Britain is broken and Britain needs reform. These are mostly newbies that are getting involved in this because they're fearful, deeply fearful for the future of our country. And I have to say, I share that.
Nigel, talking of youngsters, some political commentators are saying the spat you and Kemi are engaged in is at best childish. What would you say to them?
Well, very childish and dishonest. And she's accused me of being a fraudster. What am I supposed to do? Say nothing? She is not facing up to the reality that under her leadership, the Conservative Party continues to die, so she's chosen to do what she's so well known for. She's lashed out in her usual aggressive, charmless manner. And I'm not engaged in a spat. I'm busy. I'm working. We're going to recruit thousands more members today. I've responded to these appalling comments. You'll hear more from me in the next couple of days as to what I'm going to do, but I will not take this lying down. This is disgraceful.
What's your take on this unfolding drama? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your perspective. Next up, watch this video.
I know how certain things might sound if they're not said properly.
Yes.
So I never have gaffes or, apologizing for something that I said, oh, that's not what I meant. I never have to clarify because I think very carefully about what I say, make sure that we don't sound shrill, that we don't sound like the bad guy.
Kemi Badenoch's bold call to cut Nigel Farage's airtime on GB News lands as a direct challenge to the principles of free speech, a cornerstone of any functioning democracy. For a politician who often portrays herself as a defender of individual freedoms, this move reeks of hypocrisy and risks dealing a significant blow to her credibility. Critics are already framing this as an authoritarian overreach, painting Badenoch as intolerant of dissenting voices. Meanwhile, Farage has been handed the perfect opportunity to play the underdog, once again positioning himself as the lone figure standing against the crumbling establishment. The timing couldn't be worse for the Conservative Party, which is in a desperate battle to retain its traditional voter base. Reform UK is riding high, gaining traction, and stealing the narrative. Farage, ever the opportunist, has expertly used his public spat with Badenoch to bolster his momentum, keeping the spotlight firmly on his party's growing appeal. This demand from Badenoch is a reactive and miscalculated move that plays directly into Farage's hand. Reform UK can now present this as clear evidence of Tory desperation and their unwillingness to tolerate genuine political competition. For many Conservatives who value free speech, or who feel Reform UK addresses legitimate concerns neglected by their own party, this latest move could confirm suspicions of weak leadership at the top. Badenoch's leadership at the top. Badenoch's leadership is now at risk of heightened scrutiny from within her own rank. Tory members may begin to question whether her tactics are serving to stabilize the party or accelerating its decline. Reform UK, on the other hand, continues to frame itself as the party of integrity and free speech, a narrative that Badenoch's actions only seem to strengthen. If anything, this incident could deepen voter disillusionment with the Conservatives, adding fuel to an already growing exodus of supporters to Farage's camp. The broader implications for the Conservative Party are undeniable. With its voter base splintering and its leadership appearing both reactive and directionless, the Tories face a mounting identity crisis. Are they trying to appeal to centrist voters? Or are they attempting to reclaim their position on the right? Their inability to navigate this divide is leaving them vulnerable to insurgent forces like Reform UK, which continues to gain momentum by exploiting these missteps. Badenoch's demand to cut Farage's airtime is more than just a tactical blunder. It's a political own goal. It undermines her credibility, strengthens Farage's growing narrative, and highlights the Conservatives' internal divisions at a time when they can least afford it. In the broader context of British politics, this could mark a turning point, accelerating the decline of the Tory party while cementing Reform UK as a serious alternative for disillusioned voters. The critical question now is, can Badenoch and the Conservatives recover from this mistake, or are we witnessing the dawn of a new era in right-wing British politics? Nigel Farage's response to Kemi Badenoch, labeling her dishonest and demanding an apology, is vintage Farage. He doesn't just defend himself. He seizes the moment to shift the narrative, placing his credibility and Reform UK's momentum center stage. It's a tactical power play designed to keep Badenoch on the back foot while reinforcing Reform as the rising force in British politics. Farage's demand for an apology isn't merely about personal vindication. It's a direct assault on Badenoch's leadership. Her pledge to rebuild trust in politics has become a weapon against her. Farage's challenge essentially says, if you truly stand for trust, then prove it. If Badenoch digs in her heels and refuses to apologize, she risks looking stubborn and dismissive, qualities that could alienate voters already disillusioned with the Conservatives. On the other hand, conceding to Farage's demand might be perceived as an admission of defeat, further amplifying his growing influence. The situation took a decisive turn when the media verified Reform UK's membership figures, which Farage touted as proof of transparency. This not only bolstered his credibility, but also cast Badenoch's accusations as baseless mudslinging, damaging her standing. Without evidence to support her claims, Badenoch now risks appearing desperate, a narrative Farage will undoubtedly exploit. Farage's response is more than a rebuttal. It's a calculated maneuver to entrench Reform UK as a credible and transparent alternative to the Conservatives. By demanding accountability from Badenoch and emphasizing his party's verified figures, Farage forces her into a defensive position, raising serious questions about her judgment and strategy. For Badenoch, the stakes couldn't be higher. Refusing to apologize may deepen public distrust, while an apology could be seen as capitulation to Farage's dominance. Either outcome is fraught with political peril. This feud isn't just a personal clash. It's a defining moment that could reshape the balance of power on the right of UK politics, with Farage positioning himself as the victor. Thanks for watching. Stay connected. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with our latest videos and stay ahead of the curve on the issues shaping our world. For even more, join our free Telegram group, link in the description, for uncensored, no-holds, barred discussions on the topics that matter most. Be part of the conversation. Your voice counts.